You know what a situational disability is? It's a fucking responsibility.
And your kid runs across the floor and does something dangerous, you have to drop the controller and go and get them. That would be considered a situational disability.
She should rename the video based on what I've seen so far. I'm not stupid, you're stupid.
There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities.
Well, that's a real term. That's a real term. That's a real thing. That's a real word. So, okay, Alana Pierce made this video. I already went over talking about Alanah, well, not Alanah, just the premise of the video. Elden Ring DLC is too hard. It's not, you know,
Though
and it's like 17 minutes. I don't think the video was very good. I think it was very poorly done. But she was basically the premise is I don't think it should be a big deal to have different difficulty settings in Elden Ring. I kind of agree with her, although I would prefer it to be left alone. I think the fun of Elden Ring comes from being forced to find your way to accomplish a task without just changing the difficulty of said task, you know? But also I can't really argue with it. But this person, after that happened, Beazle Bumbleman started fighting with her on Twitter about all this, and Beazle's hitting her with like receipts. That all happened. And then we have this. They're trying to cancel me for situational disabilities and accessibility design. Now I did a video about this, which you should have watched if you're a true Joe Schmoer. But like I said before, this all started because Alana Pierce made a video that I even would agree was poorly done. The premise of what she was saying was, is it really that big of a deal if we put difficulties in Elden Ring to make it more accessible for disabled people? One of the funny things, there was a lot of clippable moments because the video was nearly a half hour long. And she kind of like, I really don't feel like she did a good job of presenting her point, to be fair. One of the things that I thought was really funny, and I don't give a fuck, the argument at this point becomes, well, that's a real term. That's a real term. That's a real thing. That's a real word. She described people with disabilities, and one of the things she went over was people with situational disabilities. Example of which would be having children would be a situational disability because they don't have as much time to play video games. But there's plenty of people that beat Elden Ring with kids, I'm fucking sure, okay? That was one of the many things from that video that I think if you're gonna clip it and make fun of her for it, fair enough. But actually, you know, since I covered this on my video that you should have already watched, so you all should be already caught up, you know, I'd like to see what she has to say. She's knocked down her runtime for making her point to 11 minutes, which is about less than half the runtime of the first video she made. Maybe she saw my criticism, but and realized that I made the same point as her in 8 minutes in my video. But let's check this out. Let's see what she has to say about the situational disability stuff. It's right in the title. I'm curious. Make me feel stupid for laughing at you for using the term situationally disabled.
Allow me to explain. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Alana, and I work 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at a AAA game studio. I am a writer on the design team.
I'll take her at face value for this video.
Allow me to explain. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Alana, and I work 9 a.m. to...
Yeah, I don't care if it's a real term. I think it's fucking stupid. And it's laughable. Because it's everyone. Who in the world has no situational disabilities? Why do we even need a term? Yeah, you know what it is? You know what a situational disability is? It's a fucking responsibility. How about that? How about that? You have responsibilities. That's why it's stupid. That's why it's dumb. That's why she got laughed at for using that term. Anyway, make me feel dumb, Alana.
Allow me to explain. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Alana, and I work 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at a AAA game studio. I am a writer on the design team, but I also work as an accessibility consultant, and I've done that on 7 separate games so far. I'm credited as an accessibility consultant.
See, this is where I fucked up, guys. I should have gone over Beazle's receipts for her exaggerating her roles in the industry, because I can't argue with what she's saying right now.
On God of War Ragnarok, because that is the much work that I did on that game was in the accessibility space. And I also created my own awards show called the Video Game Accessibility Awards. We've run that for 2 years. I took a break last year because God of War Ragnarok came out, and it would be very weird to have an award show the same year as the game that you worked on accessibility, even though I don't
Why would that be weird?
vote on it. It's voted on by a full panel of disabled gamers. But it's a thing that I care a lot about and know a lot about, more than most people, though there are certainly people who like full-time do accessibility in the space who would know way more than I do. But earlier in the week, I made a video that I called Elden Ring is Too Hard, in quotations. And majority of that video, I think it's like the first 8 minutes, I'm just basically talking about the
I have a lot of opinions already that I'm holding back because they're completely unmerited.
negative reviews that Elden Ring has gotten for being too hard and saying that I disagree with them. Majority of that video is me saying no, I think that you should get good. Like, I did literally say get good.
She did say that, and people aren't giving enough credit for that. At the end of the video, she's like, I think what did she say? She said, for people that aren't physically disabled, I think you're being impatient, and I think you can do it. All right, so she did basically say get good to those gamers, which I thought was good, and not enough people were giving her credit for that.
In it. The second part of that video, I wanted to talk about something that I'm just going to give with more detail now, about accessibility design and why when people talk about being against a game being accessible, I think it's really silly because accessibility is so much broader than just a guy in a wheelchair, which is what most people seem to think of when they think about accessible design. But when it actually comes to that design, it is much, much, much broader than that and will definitely apply to you at some situation in your life.
No, you're going the wrong way. Don't bring up situational disability. Don't do this, Alana. Talk about people with no fingers or something, dude. Don't die on this hill. This is the wrong hill to die on, dude. This is the wrong, no one will take you seriously. No one that you're trying to convince is going to take you fucking seriously if you go into the situational, your fancy fucking word for responsibilities. If you go into the situational disability rabbit hole here, you will lose. You will lose.
So in this video, I was talking about that. I was saying when people ask for accessibility in games, they aren't asking for an easy mode because they also just want to experience the hard game. They're not trying to get it to just be easier. And I was saying, accessibility design is so much bigger than people think it is. An example I used, and to be clear, I wasn't even advocating for this.
Do not bring up anything with pausing. Do not bring up anything with pausing. Do not bring up anything with kids. Do not fucking use, everyone in the world has responsibilities. Do not die on the fucking situational disability fucking hill. It is stupid. It is dumb. I don't care if it's an official term. I don't care if it's in the dictionary. It's fucking stupid. It's dumb. That's why you got laughed at.
I didn't say that I think it should be there. It was just an example. An example I gave let me just show you the clip first. Let me show you the full clip.
You guys see what I'm talking about? Like, what the fuck, dude? We're like, and I keep pausing, but like,
and people are asking for accessibility are not actually asking for an easy mode. That isn't the intent. There are also
people that are asking for accessibility are not asking for an easy mode.
So multiple kinds of disabilities, especially where gaming is concerned. There are long-term disabilities. There are situational disabilities. There are
But what do you like? That's so dumb. This is what, dude. Her video sucks. Her video fucking sucks so bad. What do you mean? People that are asking for accessibility aren't asking for an easy mode. What are they asking for then, Alana? What is this solution to make something more accessible to someone with a disability? Okay, what is it? What is it? Because the game company isn't making the controllers. The game developer, I don't think, should be having to make custom fucking keyboards for every disability. So it comes down to the game design. What aspect of game design is going to, unless you're like colorblind, right? Then you can like add like a colorblind mode into the game. That would be an example of you like filling in for a disability, right? That would be a good example of filling in for a disability from the developers. But if you're missing your fingers and you're having a hard time beating Elden Ring because you have no fucking fingers, how is any type of game design going to make that easier on you? Other than making the game in some way, shape, or form less difficult, aka something that could be termed as an easy mode. Why would you bring this up again? And then she's going in the disability thing again. The not just the situational disability, or as I like to call them, responsibilities.
Temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option.
That is a responsibility that you have, that you will not be able to spend as much time playing fucking video games because you have a kid. You tell me nobody with a fucking kid ever beat Elden Ring? Shut the fuck up. Oh, dude. Fuck, man.
For you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability.
Shut up, dude. Honestly, you know what? How about this? How fucked up is it that there's people that like don't have fingers and don't have arms and they just want to be able to play Elden Ring? And Alana here is like going to be like a voice for these disabled people. She's like a consultant for disabilities. And she's gonna fucking, again, for the second time, put people with situational disabilities in this responsibilities in the same conversation as people that are missing their fucking arm. This is why, she's so bad at making these points. She's terrible. Her videos are bad, bro.
You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork.
You may need to pause your game because you have responsibilities.
Into a socket. So I basically explained 3 pillars of disability as it pertains to design. I did not invent this.
I don't even necessarily disagree with what she's saying. Like, it's not a big deal to put difficulty options in Elden Ring for people with disabilities, but she's so fucking bad at making the point, and then she got made fun of, right, for using the term situational disability, which is fucking stupid. So, like, so far, it seems like this video was just her trying to be like, I'm not dumb, you're dumb.
This term has been around for a long time. There are variations.
You see, this term has been around for a long time. AKA, actually, you guys called me stupid for using the word situational disability. Actually, you're stupid. This word's actually in the dictionary, and it's been in the dictionary for a really long time. So me using this stupid term, it's actually a real term, and you're dumb for not knowing that. Like, dude, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. There's people with no arms. Okay? Let's worry about them. Let's worry about them first. You're ruining your whole argument. You're ruining it. You're destroying it. You're
of the term, and it's multiple.
I was gonna say you're the Keffels of fucking video game disability activism. You're like but it's not that serious.
Facets of design. This is used in web design, it is used in app design, it is used in software design, and it is used in game design or development. Design or development, either really works. As it turns out, actually even broader than that. I've learned this week from people contacting me about it that situational disability is also considered in like commercial building.
She is dying on this fucking hill. This is it. She got made fun of for saying something stupid, and she had to make a whole fucking video explain to you why you're dumb for making fun of her for saying for situational disability. And this is someone who's supposed to be like an official consultant or whatever the fuck she said for people with disabilities. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. How about this? How about this, Alana? Professional disability person in video games. An example of a developer accommodating a disability would be colorblind mode. Okay? Like,
apparently it's not even just app development. It is much bigger than that. And there are 3 pillars of design. There is permanent, which is the thing that I think most people think of when they think of the word disabled. Person who has one arm.
Yes. This is fucking stupid.
Somebody who is blind. Let me pull this up. Literally just give you a direct example.
Yeah, pull it
This
up,
is from Microsoft Design Toolkit, and I'm so...
Oh my god. All right, let's look at this. What the fuck? Is this really necessary? Let me digest this for a moment. We have permanent, temporary, and situational disabilities. Touch, see, hear, speak. This doesn't even make sense to me. How is a heavy accent? That is a okay. So it's so speak, situational, heavy accent, hearing, temporary, ear infection. I don't get it. I'm not following you, man. How much time should a development company have to make to their game reasonably to accommodate every single fucking person in the world? Like developing something for blind people, colorblind people. That's like, okay, yeah, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable thing to accommodate for, right? And then, like, how is it the developer's problem if you have one arm? God bless you. It sucks that you have one arm. But what are you going to do for game development to accommodate someone with one arm? Heavy accent. What is this? A situational hearing disability is being a bartender? What the fuck? Wait. God. Being a bartender is a fucking situational hearing disability, guys. What is this even supposed to signify? People talk to you all day so you can't... What? Dude, this is fucking bizarre. A situational seeing disability would be distracted driving. So if you're on your phone while you're driving, officer, how dare you pull me over for texting and driving? Can't you see that I'm situationally disabled? This is dumb. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Let's let her continue. I just wanted to digest that for a moment. This is it. She brought this chart up and was like, this is it. I'm going to school the haters. I'm going to show them that I'm not dumb for using the term situationally disabled.
Sourcing them because they are the company that most of
Well, none of these of which were examples that she used in her video. None of these at all. She used like having kids is to be a situational disability.
you will know the name of or be familiar with, but you can find examples of this all over the place in this space.
I don't give a fuck. It's stupid. If everyone does it, then everyone does something stupid. I'm sorry.
So we have permanent on this side, which is, for example, someone has a permanent disability, someone with one arm, someone who is blind, someone who's deaf, or someone who is nonverbal. Then there are temporary
And also, no, you're actually, wait, no, that is a permanent disability. Sorry, I jumped the
disabilities,
gun.
which is like if you broke your arm, you broke your wrist, you have an ear infection. Then there are situational disabilities.
Yeah, we have to dump, like, all right, I'm going to let her talk. Make your point. I'm sorry. This is stupid, though. This is stupid. This is not the hill to die on. This is stupid.
Example that's used here is new parent.
There's people with no fucking arms out there that just want to play Elden Ring, and she's supposed to be the voice for those people, right? Like, not that she's saying that, but like she's like advocating for those people, right? And she's over here making a video where like a quarter of the video is just her covering her ass because people made fun of her for using the term situationally disabled.
A driver who is distracted, a bartender. I can explain the bartender one because people are confused about that as well, and a heavy accent. People are also reacting to the heavy accent one. So let me explain what the situational disabilities mean here. Maybe an app.
Let me explain it. This is going back to the fine art. Let me explain to you why you're fucking stupid. Let me explain to you why you're a dumbass for making fun of me for using the term situationally disabled.
Understand your voice because you have a
Because you're too fucking stupid. You're not as smart as me. I get it. You don't.
heavy accent. That is considered a situational disability. You are disabled. You are unable. You cannot proceed through whatever software or whatever task you are trying to complete because of something that is situational to you. And it is situational also to the context of that game. Like the situational here means having a heavy
Guys, having a heavy accent is being disabled. I don't know if you knew that. Situational disability.
accent is not considered a disability in layman's terms. You would not be called disabled all over the world. None of these things are like, if you have a heavy accent, you're disabled. It's not that. It's just the situational disability in terms of design is that you are disabled from using the interface in the way that a user should be able to because of your situational disability. That's the term. The bartender example here is referring to a really loud environment. So if you are somewhere loud, they could also use music festival, but they're just using someone who functionally.
Okay, so you know what? This isn't that stupid because this is just for Microsoft design in general, not video game design, which, again, why are you bringing this up then? Because you're trying to validate your use of the word. That is ridiculous and stupid. Because this has nothing to do with video game design. So now this makes more sense to me. Because if you're Microsoft and you're designing software, right, you do need to consider situational disabilities like bartending and distracted driving. You're making software for truck drivers, distracted driving. You're making software for bartenders, situational disability being a bartender. So you need to consider these things when designing these softwares. That actually makes sense. What I don't understand is why she's bringing this chart up to defend her use of the term situational disability when it comes to video game design, which is also software. I get that it's software, but it's like a skill-based game, okay? Like, yeah, like in skill-based games, there's some disabilities that just are going to take you out of the running for that fucking thing. This is dumb. This is, okay, let her go though, because
regularly works in a certain environment. So if they're in a loud environment and they can't hear a particular thing on whatever app, whatever interface that they are.
Yeah, this whole thing is kind of trivializing for the term disability. No, like this whole video is stupid because it's just a video. She should rename the video based on what I've seen so far. I'm not stupid, you're stupid. And then like put a dash and be like, commentary community is too stupid to know English. And then go into how everyone made fun of you for using the word situational disability.
they're trying to use. The accessible design would aim to alleviate that situational disability. It's not saying bartenders are disabled in the way that the public associates the term disabled. I feel like distracted driver is pretty obvious. The new parent one, the example that I used, which again is fairly commonly used, I didn't invent the term, it's been around for a really long time, is if you're a parent, you're trying to play a game like Elden Ring, and you are halfway through your boss fight.
If you're a brand new parent, you're trying to play a video game,
And your kid runs across the floor and does something dangerous, you have to drop the controller and go and get them. That would be considered a situational disability, in that situation you are unable to complete the task that you are trying to complete because of something that happened to you situationally. You have been disabled from completing the task. The way
okay, so that's the term, but like
this pertains to accessibility isn't to say that all games, all apps, all processes need to alleviate all of these things. That's not the intent either. Like, it's just a way in which accessible design
then why'd you bring it up for video? Why'd you bring it up when talking about Elden Ring being accessible?
Much broader than people think it is, in the ways that it can help a lot.
Because this video isn't about that. This video is about how everyone made fun of you for using a word that was stupid. And now you're trying to fucking defend yourself and shit. No, you're the idiot.
More people.
That's what this is. This is the no, you're the idiot video.
Than people think it can. And it's also definitely a reality in accessibility where it is basically impossible, I would argue, to fulfill every accessibility need on the planet. That is very, very, very difficult to do. There are so many of them. The situational ones are so numerous. But it's just a means of looking at design that would allow the people who are doing the accessibility design to think about it as broadly as possible, think of as many situations as possible in which somebody is disabled.
No, not for video games. Not for video games. I don't give a fuck if you want to make, if the developer of the game wants to have an easy, this all goes back to, right? Is video games. All right. I don't know what the fuck we brought up the Microsoft software fucking development fucking chart there for video games. But the accessibility argument, it's a video game, okay? If you have a fucking arm, you're at a disadvantage. If you're missing an arm, you're at a disadvantage, okay? If you have kids, you might not have the time to grind Elden Ring. And that's just normal. That's normal shit that people deal with, having kids, having responsibilities that mean that they can't just sit on a fucking video game, having to pick up phone calls while they're playing a video game, you know? All these things that like normal people like typically like have to deal with. And when those normal people that also have responsibilities in their life that mean that they will not always just be able to sit there and grind Elden Ring, and sometimes they might have to just spring up and go handle something going on in their house, like their kid just cracked their head off the coffee table or something. That's like a normal experience. It's a normal thing to have to deal with. So when you're using that in the same conversation as, you know, making this game more accessible to disabled people, and you're bringing those people into that, those people are hearing you say that and call a responsibility of having a child a situational disability. They're the ones that are like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and they're laughing at you. Okay?
From completing the task. Somebody is unable to complete the task. Somebody is hindered from completing whatever task they are trying to, whatever function they are trying to complete in whatever software that they are engaging with. I think the word disability is probably really common used in the tech space because we use disabled a lot. Like a function was disabled, this feature has been disabled, Bluetooth has been disabled, it is no longer able to work, not because it's been turned off or it doesn't exist, it has just been disabled. I think that's probably why it's widely used and not considered to be offensive when it comes to design. And there are also, I've definitely seen people say having kids isn't a disability, it's just a responsibility, go do something else.
That is a fact. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong right now. Make me take everything I've said about that particular statement back right now.
And that's totally valid. Yes, that can make you a shitty parent. The intention is not to allow parents to...
So why'd you use that as an example? She sucks. She fucking sucks at making these videos too.
Be shitty parents. The intention is to allow them to not be punished or have a negative consequence in your product because of something like that.
So that's what gamers hate though. They hate when they oh my god. Dude, fucking she sucks. She's really bad at this. So the point is, what she say? The point is to not have consequences in your product because some people, you know, situational disabilities will make them not able to use your product. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that earlier. So gamers hate that. This is what they hate. They hate dumbing down a game to make it accessible to more people. They hate that. Like, And that's what you're basically saying here. That's like the whole fucking problem is like, this is really PR talk for people that are trying to max out profit. Okay. And Elden Ring is a company. The people who make Elden Ring are willing to make a product that they know is alienating a giant section of people that could be buying their product because they have a vision for a video game. And then you come out and you criticize it. And I don't even disagree with your criticisms. I think they are valid, but you are so fucking all over the place and terrible at making your own points that people laugh at you. And then you make a follow-up video that just makes me feel like you're just pissed off that people made fun of you for using a stupid term to describe responsibilities, which you yourself in this video don't even argue with. So why'd you even use the term in this conversation to begin with? This is stupid.
That where possible. And like a very good example of, I think, people misunderstanding it as a design ethos and not a thing you have to do is I've seen people say, oh, what? So I'm disabled if I can't pause in a multiplayer game when I need to. No one would ever argue to take away from the design of the game. So like if that is...
You did. Well, no, I didn't specifically say that. I said that they should give options in the designing of the game to make it more accessible to people with certain disabilities. Well, yeah, okay, you're asking them to fuck with their design of the game to accommodate more people, whether justified or not justified. So you did say that, although you would argue that based on your interaction with Beazle on Twitter, right?
The purpose of the game...
I didn't say those words. Those 6 words in that order did not come out of my mouth. Like, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Is an online multiplayer experience where you are having interactions with people in real time, and that is the core of the game. No one is going to argue that the game fundamentals should ever change. That's not what people are asking for. No one's going to say you need to have a pause.
You keep saying that, but that is what you're asking for. Like there's no. Then present me a solution.
And you in an online game like that obviously is functional.
Like giving it like, and I'm not even against an easy mode in Elden Ring, but giving an easy mode in Elden Ring is changing the development of the game, right? They have to add something to create a mode that is easier. So you are asking for that. It's not insane. You're not asking for anything insane, but you are asking for that. No, actually, I never said that word. Yeah, you didn't. You're right.
Functionally impossible. It is just about thinking about the most accessible options for the thing that you are making without changing design principles. You would never change design principles. You would still want your core game to function exactly as is. The Last of Us Part 2, again, I think is the most accessible game ever made.
You're not talking at a board meeting right now. You're talking to people that play video games on YouTube. You need to fucking reel it in, dude.
They clearly created exactly what they intended to create and then added all the accessibility features to make it an extremely accessible game. And the purpose of sheets like this and information like this, again,
yeah,
is not...
The point of Last of Us isn't necessarily that it's difficult. It's a narrative game, right? Like, that's a different conversation. The whole point of Elden Ring is it's hard as fuck, all right? If you beat it, it's a big deal. Last of Us is like a narrative-based game. They're not comparable, in my opinion.
Not to say that, like, your game's not going to be... No one is going to be furious if it doesn't hit every pillar. It's just that there are a lot of pillars. A lot of this comes, of course, from people who actually care about gamers who have disabilities. I am one of those. It started in a very selfish way. I mentioned it in the video, but I have tendinitis in both my wrists. This means that I can't rapidly button mash. I've had that for like maybe 10 years now. And so I have trouble playing any game that just...
No gamer in the world has tendinitis. She's the only gamer in the world that has tendinitis. Like, I don't know. Then you just can't play. Then you got to change your play style. All right? I don't know. Then you got to change your play style. Maybe not in every single game. Maybe there's games where there's like button mashing involved and it's not integral to the game, right? Like there's games like Guitar Hero, like maybe you can make it more accessible. Even that is like, no, but then you just can't play Guitar Hero. You have fucking tendinitis. I'm fucking sorry. Life's not fair. Fuck. But the whole point of Elden Ring is making like it difficult. Like, I don't know.
Requires like if you have a QT.
Like when I picture like quick time events where you got to hit buttons really quick. Those are stupid. All right. If you want to create an option for accessibility where you like get rid of quick time events or you make them slower for people with tendinitis, that's fine. That's fine. But if you have tendinitis and you want to play Call of Duty competitively, you got to find a way to suck it up or you can't compete on a certain level, which isn't even the worst thing in the world. It's just how it's going to have to fucking be. All right.
I will always change to press and hold in the accessibility menu rather than tapping because I will eventually, like my wrist will lock up and I won't be able to do it. That's how I got involved in accessibility. And technically that is considered a permanent disability. I do not call myself disabled because I have that.
Because that would be insane.
Like
Just like calling someone with a kid disabled. That would also be insane, which you did do.
In general terms, I'm not going to say...
Well, I didn't call them disabled. I called them situationally disabled. Here, I'll make a 15-minute video explaining what situational disabilities are. Yeah.
I'm disabled, but I've actually had people who most people would identify as disabled in the accessibility space criticize me for that. Like, I've had criticism that's basically a lot.
People in my space actually criticize me for the way I use this term.
You are disabled, and by being afraid to use that word, you are preventing other people from realizing that they also have disabilities. That's a whole thing. But technically, that is considered a permanent disability in so far as it is permanent. It's not going away, and I have trouble playing video games, and so I need accessibility features. That's how I got involved in the space. Now, as I was saying, a lot of this obviously comes from people who have disabilities, who care about disabilities, who actually genuinely care. But I'm also sure that a lot of this comes from the app development and the web development, where they just want to make sure that you will never turn off the thing. Part of it is surely corporations being
profit. Yes, it's profitable to get as many people wanting to buy your shit as possible. And it's cool that Elden Ring doesn't care so much about that versus making the product that they want to make. And the product that they want to make doesn't have a fucking easy mode.
Very time hungry. We call it the time wars here on this channel.
I don't know. I might have to look more into her, Dave Jones. Beazle seems to have a lot of info on her.
I've spoken many times about right now being in an era where corporations just want as much of your time as possible. So I don't doubt that some of this, when it comes to higher ups, is also coming from the time wars where, you know, the corporation wants to make sure that you don't have a situational disability that prevents you from engaging with their software, that makes their software frustrating, that makes you want to put down their software in any capacity. It is definitely mostly people who care in my experience. I don't think I've ever met any of those people, but I don't doubt that the term probably came from web development or app development, where they were just trying to make sure that you wouldn't have some situation
Who gives a fuck?
That would disable you from completing the task on their website that they want you to stay on. Now, if people are upset or offended by the term disability or disabled here, I don't think you're ever wrong to be upset by a word or offended by a word. If that's how you feel, then that is how you feel. This has been this way for a long time. It is used in the space all the time. It is used by permanently, visibly disabled people.
You're
on a regular basis
smart.
in the accessibility space. But language changes according to societal preferences all the time. So if people were to, you know, just be learning about this term this week, which it seems like is the case for a lot of people, and are really offended by the use of disabled or disability.
Well, see, if people are just learning about this term this week, which seems to be the case for a lot of people, you're so fucking smart. Everyone's so stupid. Everyone who criticizes you is just a fucking Neanderthal, and you're so smart.
In this context,
you shouldn't have double-checked your use of the word when everyone had a problem with it. No, you have to make a fucking 11-minute video explaining to everyone else while they're fucking stupid. Yeah.
I'm not
Well, actually, I never said that they were stupid. Yeah. You didn't. You're right.
Against
Sorry.
changing it. I'm an accessibility consultant, but I'm not on the kind of boards where they make these terms or make these docs. I've just helped on games specifically with the...
Why are you an accessibility consultant? Why the fuck are you a disability consultant? Shouldn't you have like a guy in a wheelchair be a consultant for this? Shouldn't you have a guy with no arm be a consultant for accessibility? Not somebody with fucking tendonitis. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Do you think a fucking person with no arm would be sitting here right now as a consultant for video games and accessibility in video games, okay, and sit here and make an 11-minute video justifying their use of the word situational disabilities? The fuck makes you qualified for that? Are you serious right now?
Permanent disability side, not the situational disability side. But
shouldn't you have a bartender as a consultant? Shouldn't you have someone with kids be a consultant?
If you're upset about the term, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to feel that way. If it made you uncomfortable to hear that kids are considered a situational disability. Again, it's not that kids are, though.
Yeah. It was just that the parents were all offended that I called them disabled. No, that's not what it was at all. That's not what it was at all. No, it wasn't. Stop. I don't like her. I don't like her. And that wasn't me threateningly punching my hand. That was just me being amped up, for the record. Okay.
It's that the context of which the child appears and does something disables you from completing a task. Whatever. Semantics. But if you...
Yes, it's all semantics with you, it seems. Everything's semantics. The words are all... Everything, every argument from you, everything is semantics. This whole video is semantics. You arguing with Beazle on Twitter is semantics. Well, I never said those words in that order on that day, on June 12th, 11/97/14, okay? 13 p.m., okay? I never said those. I never said that you were stupid for not knowing how... I never said that. Yeah. No, I don't like her. She sucks. I see why people don't like her. Which sucks. Because I don't even disagree with her. That I don't think it would be the end of the world. if Elden Ring would come out and be like, you know what, we've thought about it, and we want everyone to be able to play this game. We're going to have an easy mode just so people can play through the story if they're interested. I do not think that would be the worst thing in the world. But the way that she presents her points and the way she speaks to people, the way she talks, the way she communicates, the words that she uses is terrible, and it destroys her point. And the fact that she's the one making that argument makes the argument seem like bullshit, because all she does is argue semantics on everything, always, all the time. Like Boogie, even when she might have been right over the creator class shit with Beazle, she still looked like she was hiding something, because she has to go, well, actually, I never said those words. Yeah, you're right, you didn't. Okay, I'm wrong then. Just like Boogie. Just like Boogie. Even when you're right, you look bad. Just because of the way you present your arguments, the way you defend yourself is terrible.
We need to build.
No, I have a better one.
This is literally divine punishment. Like,
where's the anime girls? You missed them, dude. They were all over Dodger Stadium.